Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, its valuations against the US dollar, kind of wrapping up what we experienced over this weekend. It was quite interesting. Remember, if you like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. In addition to this, we're just going to be covering briefly Ethereum, Chainlink, some other altcoins. Um, I had a pretty big change for what my day-to-day is going to look like. So, um, right now I don't want to put so much emphasis on videos because I'm focusing on other things, but I want to make sure you guys know that I'm still here and I haven't left the market just yet because it's crashing. Um, so I think what I'll be doing is I'll be trying my best to kind of launch at least one video a day. That video is not going to just be indicative of one cryptocurrency. I'll try to cover a handful, for everyday kind of thing, just briefly. And also because the market is down, it's not as exciting, I know, but I think it's important to at least briefly touch upon them, see how they're doing, and assess accordingly. Obviously, the mainstay for this is going to be Bitcoin. It's probably going to be for a very long time. Not a very long time, sorry, I should say that. For quite a while. And so with Bitcoin, last week we saw a 15, almost 60% correction for the week, opening at 43,000, closing at 36,000. Currently, we're just still trading around that area, about 36,000, 575. Yesterday, we saw an incredible wick, I think. Yeah, we saw Bitcoin be up 3% for the day, but we did wick down to 32,950. So that was pretty interesting to see. At the same time, when you look at the other cryptocurrencies out there from yesterday, they didn't really bounce back like Bitcoin did. In fact, that they stayed lower. So what do we see here? We see that altcoins like Chainlink, Cardano, yeah, it fell fully. AAVE also fell fully, didn't necessarily bounce back into the green. We see these altcoins starting to fray away, and we starting to see Bitcoin dominance make a bounce. Against the weekly, you could see that these past 2 weeks have been incredible, and we have seen a bounce. So I think now this definitive answer here, we're looking towards maybe this downward line of resistance for a turnaround time, a temporary turnaround time. Going back to Bitcoin, where you notice where, like, this is interesting here, we're relatively now close to the 100-week moving average. I mean, yesterday at the lowest part before it bounced, we were about maybe another 3% move to the 100-week moving average. Now I think it's obviously a little bit more than we would need to drop. It'd be a 12% drop. But considering the past several weeks, we've seen double-digit moves to the downside. It seems quite likely that we could be visiting the 100-week moving average in the short term. When looking at the RSI, we're at 37.96. If we kind of take this line and just extend it, you can see how low we have gotten on the RSI. It's pretty spectacular. The times above it and the times below it. There's not many times in Bitcoin's history where we go below this line. And I'm not saying that it's going to hold here. All I'm saying is that, if we were to have to split the RSI in the middle, right, we take in consideration the highs and the lows, and we split down the middle, you could see that we're pretty low. Right, and if we move it to where we are right now, there are very few instances where Bitcoin was below it, and these are times when Bitcoin went down to $33,000, times when Bitcoin went down to $200, $100, this area here. So at peak fear, at times like these, again, I'm gonna toot the horn of this is where you would consider buying. And this is where I would be considered buying. I bought some Bitcoin last week. I'll continue to do so. The lower it goes, kind of thing. And my dollar cost averaging has started. Another thing to take a look at is the monthly RSI, which is at 52.28. Obviously, it's not as low as 43 or so, but we're getting there. All right. Again, if we take the RSI where we are now and kind of extend it out, you notice that we're in territory of the bottom. Not not very close, I would say, but we're relatively speaking, we're lower than the majority of Bitcoin's price history. Looking at the EMA ribbon, um, we're still at the top of the ribbon. We wicked to the second level, but we're currently holding the EMA ribbon. Now the month of January is closing upon us. It's the 25th, so um, another another 6 days left, I believe, until the month closes. So it'd be very interesting to see where I think by next week where the month closes and where do we start to open, and if that open is a continuation of the downside here and perhaps getting further into the ribbon. I think the further we are into the ribbon, the better the buy. um, and yeah, looking at Ethereum, um, getting rid of this ribbon here and bringing it back to the weekly. We have fallen uh, a good chunk. We saw it go down 21% against Bitcoin. Um, Obviously, this structure here before we set anything is pretty much broken. I mean, you can kind of finagle it to get back to it, but it seems like Ethereum is coming down and down. Realistically speaking, we're back at prices that we were, as far back as May of 2021. The valuation of Ethereum is still pretty strong against Bitcoin, but maybe not so much against the US dollar. But again, we are back at prices that we were in May of last year. Okay, it's not like we're back at $128, $200. No, Ethereum's still $2,400 strong, and we're not even back at the lows, the absolute lows of July. Where Bitcoin is. Okay, so that's something to think about as well. Chainlink is at $15. We are now back at the lows of July. Okay, so it's interesting to see what altcoins here are back at their lows, and Ethereum is not one of them, but Chainlink is. AAVE is another one. We're actually lower than our July lows. Cardano is doing okay, right? We see a down day against Ethereum, 4.5%, a down week, but relatively speaking, we have rallied considerably against Ethereum. So this is this would be an interesting asset to look at. All in all, it seems like Ethereum and Cardano are doing the ones that are making out okay in the list of altcoins that I talked about. Chainlink, obviously, very disappointing. We did break out resistance, but came right back down. So I think this move is invalidated. You can make the argument that it looked like this, right? That these were actually the resistance line. So we could also keep an eye on that. Should Chainlink bounce back, this could be a point of interest to watch. But at the same time, it's going to be difficult, especially what Bitcoin is doing. Anyway, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.